markets.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pretty close.
Watching.
You're
watching.
Pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Gruber, good talking to you, my friend. All right, folks. 4 o'clock. Woo! You see those lights come on like that. Dow, tough day in the markets. 350 lower in the Dow. 220 in the Nasdaq. Nasdaq was down 370 at one point. 38, little bounce back in the S&P. Gold took back $15 from the big loss yesterday. Again, gold is up about almost 50% year over year. Oil up a little bit. Crypto kind of floundering, just trailing off a little bit. There's a lot of selling, a lot of liquidation going on in crypto. All right, as promised, let's get right to this. All right, my next guest, celebrating 50 years in journalism. I said that right, 50 years. He has his own show on BillO'Reilly.com called The No Spin News, and his latest book, Confronting Evil, Assessing the Worst of the Worst, is #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, making this his 20th #1 bestseller book. I don't think there's anyone close. I don't even know who #2 would be. Maybe, I don't know, Bob Woodward, who knows? Happy to have on Bill O'Reilly back to the show. Bill, really good to have you on. Congratulations, my friend. I mean, 20 #1 New York Times bestseller. Who is #2? Do you know?
Yeah, it's Woodward. He has 14. So I don't think my record's ever going to be broken. And we're the most successful nonfiction authors in the world. But I appreciate you mentioning Bolling. But you know what I appreciate even more? That you wore a shirt for this interview. Thank you very much.
I technically never not worn a shirt. I am wearing long sleeves for this interview. And you, as you noted,
you're
cover up the tattoos.
Formal.
I'm deplorable. I'm the basket of deplorables. I will tell you one thing, though, before we get into this. I do know there's a record that I have that will never be broken. It has something to do with you. There was a time I was asked to host your show. You were, gallivanting around the world somewhere. I was sitting in, and I was, I'm going to fill in for O'Reilly. And at some point, they said, can you do Fox and Friends in the morning? I'm like, geez, 3 hours of Fox and Friends. I did that. I did Bill O'Reilly. And Hannity was supposed to be interviewing the would-be President Trump somewhere, in Detroit somewhere. And his shot went down, and they said, stay in the seat. You got to do Hannity. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm the only human being ever to fill in for Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity on the same day. I could be wrong, but
I think that's probably true. And back then you didn't have any tattoos, so it was a good sequence, Bolling.
And look how much more fun I am now, Bill. Really, so 20 #1 bestsellers. The worst, assessing the worst of the worst. Begs the question: is Putin the worst of the worst? Is Mao? Who is the worst of the worst?
Well, the worst mass killer on the planet ever is Mao Zedong. 20 million of his own people went down. And there isn't a Chinese person in that country that knows that. You go to Beijing, where I was in May, and there's pictures of Mao all over the place. You can imagine if an American had killed 20 million Americans, I don't think that person's picture would be all over the place. But Mao is the worst. And then it's up to the reader to decide. So we have 15 miscreants in the book, 4 on the cover, and then in the book, 11 more. And each of them, their evil, what they did, maintains to this day. That's the common thread on all of these 15. What they did still influences the world. Mm-hmm. And it's a harrowing book, but a book that you'll learn an enormous amount about America and the world.
Hitler killed 6 million Jews. He didn't make the cover, did he?
Okay, I lost audio here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I could not hear that question.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Well, I put the cover of the book back up there. Is Adolf Hitler on the cover? He killed 6 million Jews, and there he is, off to the left.
Hitler.
There it is. There you go. Yeah. Any Americans in the book, Bill?
Oh yeah, there's the slave traders, 2 guys who had a business purchasing human beings, brutalizing them, and then selling them. They became the richest men in the world by doing that heinous slave trade. And then there are the robber barons, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Carnegie, who's amassed unbelievable fortunes by exploiting American workers, including children. And Teddy Roosevelt brought them down. I included the robber barons in the book because I wanted to get some heroes in the book too. And Teddy was a real hero there. Almost single-handedly went after the robber barons, and he won. He beat them in the Supreme Court. It was close. And that turned around all the labor in America, which was horrendous at the beginning of the 19th century.
Well, you got a great book there, Bill, and we will absolutely read it. Quick thought on the New York mayoral race. Mamdani is leading. If Curtis Sliwa drops out, gives Andrew Cuomo a shot, a fighting man's shot. What are your thoughts on this? You want Curtis Sliwa to back out?
I did a commentary today on it on WABC, which is our flagship in New York City. We do radio and television, as you know. And I said, it's not my place to request that Curtis Sliwa drop out of the race, because I believe he's a sincere man, that he thinks he could run the city better than Cuomo and Mamdani. And he's put up himself into the arena, and it's not my place. I did lay out that Mamdani will most likely be elected if Curtis does not drop out. So that's the decision that he has to make himself. But
what would you prefer? I feel a little, no one's going to take.
I prefer Bolling. I prefer you to be mayor over Mamdani. Anybody.
That's a big.
This is a disaster.
Right, that's a big statement.
Right.
Big statement. Right
this is a disaster for the city, the largest city in the country, and the head of the capitalist movement in the world. I mean, this man will go in, will not enforce the law, so you'll have bodies piled up. You won't even be able to get the cops on a 911 call.
Right.
And then there'll be a collapse of the economy as wealthy corporations and wage earners move out. They're going to pay 30, 40% in tax. Nobody's going to do that. Real estate will collapse. It'll be on, and this guy's going to get 4 years? My God.
He's being embraced by half the Democrat Party, certainly the socialist wing of the Democrat Party. But yeah, okay, so Bill won't ask Curtis Sliwa to back out. I would. I'll be on record. I'm not there anymore, but if I lived in New York or city or the state for that matter, I would be begging Curtis to step aside, let Andrew Cuomo give it a shot, because anything's better than Mamdani. I want to talk to you about this, Bill. I've known you, 25 years, 25 years, whatever. I said in for you 200 times on the Bill O'Reilly Show at Fox. I've known you very well. I've never known you to be true MAGA or true America First or really a right-winger, but I'm feeling the sense of this relationship. You go to the White House last week, are you MAGA?
No, I'm not tied into any political party. I'm a registered independent. I go to the White House as any reporter would. I went to the Charlie Kirk Medal ceremony, not as an invitee, because I didn't know Mr. Kirk or his family. I went as a reporter. And that's the best way to serve my audience, that I was there. I saw who was there. I saw the interactions. I made headlines because I got, Beck and Waters and Carlson all together in one photo, which will never happen again. And it went on all over the world in 10 minutes, as social media does now. And when any president asks me, and 5 of them have, for advice, I give it to them, because I love my country. But I'm not currying favor with any politician, and I never would.
You've said this. He's called you. He calls you. You went to the baseball game. You gave him your book at the baseball game. So you're becoming pretty close. It just feels like you're moving a little further right than what I've known you. I mean, I've been against tariffs. I don't know where you are. Here's another one. I don't love the idea of blowing narco-terrorists out of the water without some sort of, I don't know, let's call it, I'm not sure they deserve due process fully, but I think maybe we could capture them first before we, eliminate them. But it's a thought. There's just certain things that are going on. I'm just curious if you find somebody at fault with some of these things.
I want more information about it, but I'm not opposed to designating drug smugglers as terrorists. They're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. Come on. But when you whack somebody with U.S. Air power, then you should explain to the people why you did it, how you knew they were a threat to this country in a general way. You don't want to give up national security secrets, but I want more information coming forth. And I think what you're seeing, Bolling, is that the opposition to Donald Trump has become so radicalized, so far left in a danger zone, Mamdani, okay, and others, that my commentary becomes a little bit more forceful, not in support of the White House, but in opposition to what I feel is a much bigger threat. So I don't see President Trump as a threat at all. I don't think he's a king. I don't think he's screwing up. I think that his foreign policy is light years better than Biden or Obama or Bush the younger or Clinton. I believe that the tariffs, I'm going to give them a fair shot. They may work for the U.S. economy by changing it into a manufacturing situation where wages are higher. So I don't see Trump as a deficit. If I begin to see him that way, I will certainly report it.
Okay, got it. Very quickly, Bill, I only have about a minute or so. Yeah, I want to ask you this. I've known you a long time. You're a successful author. You're 20. No one's going to touch your bestseller list. You're a very wealthy man. You've done extremely well your whole life. What makes Bill O'Reilly get up and do it every day? I mean, you could easily go off into the sunset, buy a beautiful home somewhere in a Caribbean island, whatever. Why do you do it every day?
Well, number one, I think I have a reason to be here. See, I'm a man of faith. I go to Mass every Sunday. And I think I was put here for a reason, all right? And the reason is to bring as much information as I can to the millions of people who follow me. And that's through radio and television and books, whatever it is. And so if I leave to go to the Caribbean, then what do I accomplish there? I'm a big grape. I'm just sitting out there, and, it'd be fun. But at this point in my life, I have a vast amount of experience. I think more than any other journalist working, with the exception of Brit Hume. And I'm imparting that wisdom, Bolling, to those who would like to hear it. And so it's a simple equation. But, it is a burden to do all the stuff I'm doing. I mean, my God, I'm busier now than I was when I was 35. Yep. And that's kind of crazy.
And that's kind of good too, Bill. I hope to be as busy as you are. You're substantially further down the road age than my young age of 61 years old. Bill O'Reilly, I love you, brother. I really do. I miss you, and thank you for spending a few minutes on Bolling.
Sure, Bolling, and we'll see you down in Florida this winter, I hope.
Let's do it. Thank you. Bill O'Reilly, everybody. Well, folks, I got to tell you this. The Edge is growing, get this, 70 times faster than the average of all new YouTube shows like we were. But that's because of you. The Edge is where men aren't apologetic about being men. And as for masculinity, we are masculine all the time. All masculinity, welcome, toxic or not. No snowflakes allowed, just pure grit and perseverance. This week on The Edge, we have two arenas, one code. A fighter who lives for the hit. Tristan Hamm is an up-and-coming, and by the way, undefeated heavyweight boxing champion. And a builder of men, a guy who turns pain into purpose and a hugely growing business. Two men forged by pressure, both proving what it means to live on the edge. A special week this week. 2 new episodes drop Thursday and Sunday, only on YouTube. Search Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube. See it right there. Just click it, youtube.com/Eric Bolling, The Edge. Or take a picture of that QR code right there on the screen. I thank you for your watching. I thank you for your support. And I thank you for your subscription. Thank you. You're making it all worthwhile. Appreciate you. All right, folks, a new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much the government, any government, can do. And if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home with each and every one of us. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from TWC doctors all the time on this network. And you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with our amazing series of prescription medical kits, kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications, and by the way, the all-important guidebooks to assist you in the proper use of those medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. Make America Healthy Again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to www.twc.health/voice. www.twc.health/voice today and order twc.health/voice. Use the promo code VOICE to save 10%. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.